Welcome to another episode of Roll Up a Pull Up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured. Alright? Now we'll be here on today, Mr. Roll Up. Y'all remember her? Probably don't, cause she wigless right about now. Last time y'all seen her, she had a motherfucking wig on. Well, I ain't even about to go ahead and explain it. We just gonna get into it. How about that?
Over the murder of a McDonald's employee in East Point erupted into chaos today when one of the victim's relatives allegedly tried to bring a knife into the courtroom. It all started when a security video was played in court the day that Jennifer Harris was attacked. CBS News Detroit's Alicia Bergia was there as emotions boiled over. That's how court started. An intense day in court overall as Feni Muhammad sat before a judge. She's accused of brutally stabbing and killing her manager, Jennifer Harris, at a McDonald's in East Point back in July. Today, 6 witnesses took the stand. Video of the incident was shown. And as you mentioned, emotions from the victim's family ran high. Chilling video of suspect Feni Muhammad in custody admitting the desire of wanting to murder her manager Jennifer Harris the morning of July 10th. On Friday, 6 witnesses took the stand. 2 claiming an interaction took place between Muhammad and Harris that morning when the defendant was sent home from work for allegedly not doing her job.
She seemed very irritated, and she started off by saying, "So you clocked me out without telling me." And she kind of repeated it. She repeated it twice. And after she repeated it, Jennifer said something. And after that, that's when she said, "You know, you reap what you sow. I'll be back. You better watch your back."
In this video, you see Muhammad return back to McDonald's, walk past a delivery truck, her face covered by some sort of mask, a knife under her arm. She walks through the back entrance, approaches Harris, and stabs her 23 times. A customer in the drive-thru saw it happen and pulled out his gun to intervene.
Saying something like, stop, 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 hold on, stop. I produced my firearm off my hip. I pointed it at her. I did take a shot at her. She froze up a little bit, which stopped the attack. And then I guess she maybe something clicked, told her to run or something like that.
Body camera video shows Muhammad on the ground in the parking lot, her clothing covered in blood. One witness describes her last moments with Harris after the stabbing.
When I got up there, the only thing I could see and notice was Jen laying on the floor in a big pool of blood asking for help. Her last words to me was, "Dad, please don't let me die."
As far as what's next, the case has been bound over to circuit court. Muhammad due back in court December 2nd. As far as the daughter that was arrested this morning, police say she's still in custody but will be released. In East Point, Alicia Bergio, CBS News.
How about that? Man. So, as y'all can see, that's the McDonald's Massacre lady. Black Wolf, tap in, tap the fuck in. Nah, I know y'all might be like, damn, why you always on Black Wolf head, man? What the fuck? Well, this was Brody's car right here. You know what I'm saying? When I first covered this shit, he said that girl was gonna get off on the insanity tip. You know what I'm saying? Then I came back with it when they binded her case over to circuit court, basically letting it be known, like, hey, you ain't insane. Your ass was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Now, here we go with another update, right? Well, with this update, they saying, well, my bad. They showed what actually happened in the interrogation room, which is what led her case being binded over to circuit court. See, first, when you catch a case, your case start in district court, meaning you just getting arraigned. They bringing up the evidence, you know, what they got, what they know. Is you competent? Blah 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 blah. Right. A lot of times, people cases don't make it past district court. A lot of people beat their case at district court, depending on the elements of the case. You know what I'm saying? But if you get bonded over to circuit court, that means that they got enough evidence on you, and they about to take your ass to trial, or you about to cop out to something about to happen. Your ass going to prison. So if they bind your case over to circuit court, you hit. You know what I'm saying? That's just bottom line on it. Okay. Now let's run it down, right? So first of all, this McDonald massacre lady, right? Her crazy ass, she stabbed her manager 23 times. 23 fucking times. That's not insane. You're crazy. Number two, she admitted to this in the interrogation room. As y'all have seen, she literally was showing the detectives how she did it, where she did it, why she did it, and she told them the whole fucking thing. That's not insane. You're just crazy. Number three, this was all because the manager sent her home early. As you can see, one of the employees got on the stand and said, hey, they had an argument. You know, the manager sent her home. And she like, well, you going to reap what you sow. And I'm going to be back for you. That's not insane. You're just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Number four, they show her leaving out, you know, walking out the McDonald's, going to get in her car. She was in her car for a minute, whatever the fuck she was doing, masking up, getting that knife ready. Came and went back into the McDonald's. You seen she came in through the back entrance, right? That's not insane. An insane person would have walked through the front, just got to stabbing people, and that would have been it. No, she had an intended target. That's not insane. They're just fucking crazy. Also, with that being said, as y'all can see in the video, she walked right past the guy with the 18-wheeler that was unloading, you know, bringing in the supply, you know, for the McDonald's, right? She walked right past him, went in the building, walked past all the employees, went up to the manager, her intended target, and stabbed that lady all in the face, in the body, all of that, 23 times. That's not insane. You're just crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, with all that being said, I guess she thought this shit was a video game or something. While she doing the stabbing, one of the customers in the drive-thru seeing what was going on. He upped his gun, as y'all seen what he said in his testimony. You know what I'm saying? He even had to take a shot to get her up off a girl because she was just going crazy. You know what I'm saying? All because she got sent home early. You know? So the police get there. They handcuff her ass. As you seen, they had her on the ground. She got blood all on her hoodie and everything. Case open and closed. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no insanity, baby. You just crazy. And your ass about to feel it. You about to get the rest of your life in prison. All because you got sent home early from a McDonald's. Not no big industrial plant. Not GM, not Ford, not Chrysler, you know, not even Amazon. You know what I'm saying? McDonald's, one of the easiest jobs to get in the world, right? You decided to put your life on the line for a job that probably pay you $13, $14 an hour. Where 9 times out of 10, you basically guaranteed to get sent home early anyway. I done told y'all before, I worked at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? I worked there for only 2 weeks though. You know what I'm saying? I was just there to collect the check. I needed it for a play and it did what it did. You know what I'm saying? Type shit. McDonald's, no diss to McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. I'm not one of them. Whatever you like, do what you like. It's all about what you into. We need somebody to do a little bit of everything. So this ain't no diss or nothing like that. I'm not even that kind of person. You know what I'm saying? I didn't work everywhere and did everything. So this is not no diss at all. My point is this. McDonald's is the easiest job in the world to get. It is. You know what I'm saying? It's so high in demand, making it easy for you to get a job there. You know what I'm saying? Because people coming in and out all day long. And they need people to work, move that shit, move them burgers, move them fries, them desserts, all of that shit. They need people to move that shit because there's people coming in all day, every day for it. So to get a job at McDonald's, all you got to do is walk in there and say, hey, I need a job. They going to hire you right on the spot. let me tell you something about my McDonald's journey, right? So, like I said, I just needed a couple dollars at the time. I just needed one check, right? I'm walking up the street. It's a McDonald's and a Taco Bell right next door to each other, right? No lie. I go into the Taco Bell because they had a big ass now hiring sign, right? I go in there, I filled out an app. The lady like, yeah, we'll call you this weekend. I think that was like a Thursday that I went in there. She was like, we'll call you this weekend. Okay, cool. As soon as I left out the Taco Bell, I went to McDonald's. When I went into McDonald's, the manager was, in the lobby, doing her little paperwork or whatever, right? I walked right up to her. I'm like, hey, I need a job. She like, really? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, when can you start me? I need to start ASAP. She like, here, have a seat. So I sat down with her, right? She like, are you working anywhere else currently? Or, blah, blah, blah. Cause this is gonna be a full 8-hour shift. I'm like, well, I ain't working nowhere right now, but I'm like, that Taco Bell right next door, they just told me that they gonna call me this weekend. So she like, well, you went over there and filled out an app, how much did they say that they'd pay you? I said, they said they'd start me at 14 an hour. She had on glasses. She lowered her glasses. She was like, well, I'll give you 15 an hour and I'll start you tomorrow. I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm going to come back. She said, I will start you tomorrow. You're going to be waiting on Taco Bell. She was like, I will start you tomorrow. I said, you know what? I'm going to come back. She said, all right. She said, when you come back, just know that if you come back today and fill out this app, I will start you tomorrow. I said, all right. So I got up from the table. I walked out. I walked about halfway up the street. See, here's my dilemma with it, right? I was only kind of shaky with it because I like the hours that Taco Bell was going to offer me over the hours that McDonald's was going to offer me. But then I was like, you know what? I was like, shit, McDonald's talking about starting me tomorrow, and I don't know what's going to happen with Taco Bell. They just saying they going to call me over the weekend. They didn't say, hey, we going to start you over the weekend. They just said they'd call me. So it's not a guarantee with the Taco Bell. But with the McDonald's, it's a guarantee. She like, I'll start you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I weighed my options. I turned around. I said, you know what? Fuck that. I turned around. I went back in there. She was still sitting there at the table doing her paperwork. I said, you know what? I'll take it. She could have hold me. Like, you know what? You decided, you wanted to pick and choose. So why don't you just go ahead and go with them? No. She went in the bag, got me an application, had me fill the shit out. I filled all that shit out. She was like, all right, be here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Started me the very next day. This is what I mean about the demand with McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? It's just that quick. So for her to do what she did at a place like that was just totally insane. You know what I'm saying? What she did is insane, but she's not an insane person. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? And it made it a real insane act because the type of company that you're working for, that place is in high demand. Even if you got sent home early, you could have worked something out with a supervisor or, a manager or somebody like that to send you to another McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Because please believe it's another McDonald's that needs you. Your name is in the system. You know what I'm saying? So you could have got sent to another McDonald's with no problem. If this McDonald's, not giving you your hours, blah, 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 shit like that, you could have went to another one, Nah, she wasn't having it. She decided to kill this woman because she shorted her hours. Here's another thing. When I was working at the McDonald's, like I said, I was just there for one check. That's all I needed, right? My hours got cut every single day I was there. I did not work a full shift, not one time. Not once. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. I got sent home early every single day. I did everything right. I was fast. I wasn't on the sideline on my phone. I wasn't bullshitting around talking to people. None of that. Half of the damn crew was fucking Mexicans, and I couldn't understand what they were saying anyway. So it wasn't like I was in there lollygagging and none of that. I was in there getting that shit done, and they still was cutting my hours every single day. It's McDonald's, man. They gotta make time and space for everybody else because the demand is so high. It is what it is. And with me being a new employee, they just chopping my hours. You know what I'm saying? But little did they know, I was there for a good time, not a long time any damn way. You know what I'm saying? How about that? So the point is, man, she lost her life for nothing. And now you see her sitting there in court with that big bushy ass nasty fro. Who am I to talk? Look at my shit. I need my shit done too. You know what I'm saying? How about that? But y'all know I'm a gangster. You know what I'm saying? I can rock this shit for the next 2 months. It ain't gonna bother me. You know what I'm saying? But just to say, that's about to be her reality now. Ain't no more wigs, makeup, none of that shit in jail. That shit over with. So just a little privilege like that, she don't even realize she lost it. All because she went up top about some hours at McDonald's. Now she ain't gonna get to put another wig on. She gonna have to rock that fucking nasty ass afro that she got. You know what I'm saying? How about that? And on top of it, now she gonna be working in the chow hall for $1 a day. I just said this in the last video with the sledgehammer guy. Now we got the damn McDonald's Massacre lady, where she probably was making 15 an hour to keep up on her wigs, you know what I'm saying, make sure her car running, put a couple dollars in her pocket, blah, 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 blah. That's over with now. Now you about to be rocking that nasty ass fro in prison, making $1 a day in the chow hall, working the same hours you was working at McDonald's. When at McDonald's, in 2 hours, you were made $30, right? Whereas in prison, it's gonna take you a whole month to make that $30. That it would have took you at McDonald's to make it in 2 hours, it's gonna take you a whole month to make that in prison. And you're gonna work the same hours. You know what I'm saying? And I could look, let me tell you this. In prison, they ain't gonna be cutting your hours in there. You know what I'm saying? You worried about getting your hours cut? Trust me. They not gonna be cutting your hours in prison. If anything, they gonna need you for an extra hour. You know what I'm saying? And they only gonna give you $1 a day. How about that? I don't be understanding the madness with some people, man. I mean, I get it, it's temporary emotions, but it's like, dog, if you could walk away from a situation and you could think about it, it's like, go ahead, stop and think about it. You know what I'm saying? Just like what she did. She was able to go out to her car and make a whole video. She done made a couple videos talking about this lady. You know what I'm saying? Posting on the internet and all type of shit. So that means you had time to think about this. Why you didn't think like, hey, if I pull this move off, I'm going to jail for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Some people mental don't be there. And by the time they finally realize what they did, it's too late. The system ain't gonna have no pity on you after you commit the crime that you did. They not gonna say, well, you know what? She wasn't in her right mind at the time. Let's give her a second chance. Go ahead, let her out. Nah, baby. The damage is done. Your ass is through. How about that? Now, before I close this out, right? I know they didn't say it, they didn't speak too much of it on the video, but if you caught it at the end of the video, they were saying that the victim's daughter got locked up, right? She got locked up in court. Now, why did she get locked up, Mr. Roll Up? Well, while they was in court, you know, going through the court procedures, things like that, they was showing the actual video of the McDonald's Massacre lady stabbing the victim. The victim's daughter, she in court watching the video of her mama getting stabbed to death. So what did she do? She left the courtroom, went out to the car or whatever, and grabbed a knife. She did the same shit the McDonald's lady did, but she brought that knife back into court. You can't bring nothing in court. You can't even bring a damn phone with a camera on it in court. Maybe nowadays, but I know, let me say, a year or two ago, you couldn't do that. You probably can now. I ain't been in court, like the past 2 years, so I don't know. But I'm just saying, like the last time I was in court and beforehand, you can't even bring a phone in there with a camera on it. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't want you recording shit or none of that. So her bringing a knife in there was just insane. But this is where her temporary emotions was at because she seen her mama getting stabbed to death on a damn video in camera. I mean, damn, on a damn video in court. And she watching the lady that actually did this to her mother sit there in the same courtroom she is in. So her temporary emotion is, hey, I'm about to go get this knife and I'm about to kill her. She killed my mama. I'm about to get her. But like I said, in the courtrooms, they ain't going for that. So as soon as she tried to come through the metal detectors, they caught her. Your ass tweaking. You know what I'm saying? And she was tweaking because she already knew that. She already had to come through the metal detector, so she knew wasn't nothing up. But her temporary emotion had sent her through the roof. You know what I'm saying? And luckily, they have metal detectors and things like that, so you can't get in there and do nothing crazy. Because if they wouldn't have had this shit and she would have got in there with that knife, and just to say, if she could have got up on girl, Afeni Muhammad, if she could have got up on her and got her together, guess what? The daughter will be on charges too. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the rest of her life in prison, you know? So it's like, it's a order to everything. And this is part of the reason why it's an order like that in the courtroom. Because they know that family members are being their feelings and want to do something crazy to these defendants. You know what I'm saying? Or suspects, whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, they saying that she might get a charge for what she did. They might let her out. Might. We don't know. But at the end of the day, this is where her temporary emotions was at. Because she seen her mama getting killed on camera by this lady that's sitting right across from her. You know what I'm saying? And I understand. But that's just how it go, man. So the daughter got to deal with it. She got to let the justice system handle it how they handle it. That's just how the game go. You wasn't there when the crime happened. It ain't nothing you can do about it in the courtroom, baby. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully the daughter don't get no charges. Hopefully the system just say, hey, you know what? We knew that, her emotions was through the roof, blah, blah, blah. Hopefully they just do something like she can't come to no more court days. You know what I'm saying? Because they give her a charge for it, that's gonna be wild as hell. But it is what it is. So hopefully she don't get a charge. Maybe they'll just tell her she can't come to court no more. She just gonna have to deal with the verdict, outside the courtroom. We'll see, man. Again, I told y'all before, I'm gonna keep y'all updated on this shit, man. And we gonna walk it down. So they say our next court date is December 2nd. We gonna see what happens from there. But like I said in the beginning, she gonna get life in prison. If not life, she gonna get something crazy, like 30 years or something. Might as well just call it life. You know what I'm saying? How about that? It's been another episode. Roll up a pour up. So get your blunts rolled and your drink poured.